it's Dalyla, and I am an ENFP, and I'm here to ask my fellow ENFPs, Keyasha and Mella, Mella, yeah, woo! Questions because they also happen to be ENFPs.
There's going to be something like across the screen.
There probably will be.
Okay.
I'm going to ask questions to my fellow ENFPs, but we're going to just have a discussion and just talk to each other and share from our personal life experience of ENFP nature and also just life and personal opinions and such. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I want to ask that question.
Oh, yeah. Feeling, thinking.
Feeling, for sure.
Thinking. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more, that one's more about your decision making. So like feelers tend to like at the end of the day, even if they logic through things, they tend to go lean towards their feelings more often. Like where do you emotionally and really hold a lot of value in your emotions. So even then you might be asking people out like, how do you feel about that? What are you feeling about this? Thinkers tend to be a bit more logic is what's held as primary. Like no matter how my emotions might be leaning me towards something, at the end of the day my logic is really what holds more weight and what I end up making a decision off of.
I feel like I might be a T.
Because you could be an emotional T.
That's true. At the end of the day, it's more so about where is your value held in your decisions.
It's held in my logic, I feel.
Yeah, and like for me, I think, I know I'm a feeler because at the end of the day, like my emotions do guide me, but I'm kind of in the more middle with it because I was raised around thinkers. And so a lot of times, like, I'll be thinking logic or I'll suppress my feelings and things like that because I grew up in a family where I remember like my mom telling me like when I was crying or whining, I'm gonna tell you, Mom. I remember my mom telling me like, you know, because my mom's a thinker, she's an ESTJ, and her saying things like when I was crying or whining to her, she'd be like, go to your room, cry, work it out, come to me when you're ready to talk, talk. Like, so like emotions were meant to deal with something on your own, and like you only speak in logic. So I put a lot of weight on that and value that a lot, and I'm attracted to that type of thing a lot. But I know personally, like, I can't deny that my feelings are kind of what's guiding me. At the end of the day, even if it's more logical to give money to someone who's homeless in a different way, if I'm feeling and my emotions are guiding me towards, I'm going to give you money. Like, it's not, you know, like whether or not it's the more logical of the ideas.
Yeah. I mean, I think I do lean definitely towards feeling as well. And I think a part of, like, becoming a disciple is not being led by your emotions.
Yeah, true.
Because Jesus is Lord, not your feelings. And so that's
Say it again.
Because Jesus is Lord, not your feelings.
One more again.
Ooh.
For the vine. Do it for the
vine.
vine.
Doesn't exist.
Oh, dang. Wow.
But yeah, so that's something I'm having to learn. Like, I feel this way. One, feelings aren't always true. But also, like, you shouldn't be just obedient to your feelings. You should be obedient to God. And I think, I'm trying to think, like, family-wise, I think my mom is definitely a feeler as well. So it's hard. I feel like I've been raised this way for 20-something years, and then I become a disciple, and I'm like, oh,
all of a sudden you want me to change?
Like, you want me to be logical and not what?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's hard though.
I think I feel like I maybe lean more towards feeling though, honestly. I think, you know, being a disciple, like my lack of conviction will cause me to make decisions.
That's a good point.
About my emotions because
Dang. Say it again, Mella.
Like, I'm gonna
my
call
lack
my
of
ex because I
conviction.
feel
Wait,
like
I couldn't hear you. One more time.
My lack of conviction.
Louder for the vine.
Dalyla.
are you in your mind right now or your feelings?
I don't know. I'm in my feelings now.
My lack of convictions will cause me to make decisions out of my emotions.
Yeah.
That's a very ENFP thing to say,
Yeah.
too. Because, like, one of the big things about ENFPs, people can think that they're very, like, surfacey off the top. But one of the big things is that, like, their morals is what guides them. So, like, at the end of the day, if you don't have those convictions, then you're going to go more with your feelings. But, for example, I might have a conviction about, like, I don't know, that you shouldn't lie. And so even if, like, I feel like, you know, my feelings might be pushing me to lie, at the end of the day, I'm going to try to hold to my convictions, my morals. But if you don't have them, you go with the wind of your emotions.
But I noticed, like, when, like, I do compromise on something that is a conviction for me, like, I take it so strongly.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what did I do? Like, who am I? Like, this is what I'm living
Are you
by.
who you really are? Do you know yourself?
Yeah, it's like an identity crisis. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I doing?
I think my dad is more of a thinker, and so is my mom. I think they're more logical people, because they help me think through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate people like that.
I do too.
Who, like, can see past the cloud of emotions. Because things look so differently when you're just in your feelings, and it changes your perspective and everything. And I'm just like, whoa. Honestly, like, it makes you not sober-minded at times.
Yeah. It balances things out. Like, I think my mom is a thinker, my brother is a thinker, my dad's a feeler. And I felt like my mom and my brother, because they were such strong influences in my life, like, even when stuff was hard when I was a kid, I remember my brother being like, Dalyla, why are you crying about it? It doesn't do anything about it. You know, like, and like, so like emotions were kind of like, it doesn't make sense, so why do it?
Yeah.
And so, like, that type of thing helped me to really value the idea of, like, having more of an objection thing. But now I feel like I also have to battle, like, allowing myself to feel my emotions, you know, and not pushing them away and being like, it's okay to, like, if your emotions are guiding you, it's not a bad thing. It's just important that your emotions are not lured. Because, like, your emotions can also be really good signals for, like, you know, things to check out. Or if you're angry, there's probably a reason why. Like, look at it. If you're sad, there's probably a reason why. Look at it.
Yeah.
But I think it's different when you're ruled by your emotions. And, like, I'm sad, so...
I'm about to go out here and eat 50 donuts.
Because I'm sad.
And watch Netflix all
Because
day.
I'm sad. 50?
But it's true.
I mean, 49.
I mean, binge watching Netflix is definitely something I've done. So.
Yeah. For me, I think I've acted crazy. When I was angry, when I'm upset, that's when I made some crazy decisions and probably not the wisest things. Or even if I got caught in my, like, feelings, like, things that are good, like romantic feelings, just do some crazy stuff in these streets. So, judging versus perceiving. Wait, you guys want to give yourselves a percentage?
Oh, for intuitive over, over feelings over.
Yeah, thinking.
I don't know. What
I'm
do you
definitely
think?
a 90% feeler.
90%, dang.
Simply because I think eventually I get to the logic.
But that's your
But
nature.
But then,
Oh,
like I was
what's
saying,
first?
but yeah, my nature is like emotion because I'm an extremist. I'm like 0 100. There's no balance. Like for me personally, I think when I'm talking to other people, which usually are thinkers, I'm like, they're like, okay, first of all, shut up. You know, like I understand where you're coming from, but let's be more logical about this is all. So I think initially I'm like very emotional, and then I have to process through those emotions to get to some sort of logic. But then still, even getting to the logic, I still have a decision to make. You know, I think about just different things that I've done against God and sinning against God.
Right.
Like there's this logic and these feelings are fighting one another. It's like, oh, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I want to.
Yeah.
And so depending on where my convictions are, and if I don't have any convictions to go back on, I'm like, well, I guess it'll be okay. Once won't hurt. It's like all these different things that I start to tell myself that kind of blurs out the logic. And then here I'm finding myself making a decision out of my emotions and sinning against God in the same act.
Right.
So I think initially I'm more of a feeler than I am someone that kind of make a decision like based on knowledge, like logic in the moment. I get there eventually, and then I still have a decision to make.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. When you put it that way, I think I'm probably more somewhere as equally high on the filler side. And I also think like as you mature, like you do learn to process things more logically. So like even this course I'm doing right now on spiritual growth, like they have these 7 principles, for spiritual growth. And so one is like, stop and consider what you're feeling. And then like, okay, recognize like, what's the spiritual battle here? Like, how are you being tempted by what you're feeling? And what is it tempting you to do? And that's such a logical thing to do to break down your emotions, whereas normally I would just be like, all right, this is what I feel. I'm about to react.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think I feel things first. I'm learning to be more, logical, but I definitely feel it first. Or even like, imagine like someone says something to you and maybe it comes off half the way, and instead of thinking it through, like, oh, maybe they just meant this, but I'll often like feel what they said first, and I'm like, you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I'm mad. And then later, as I try to like be spiritual and ask people about it, I'm like, okay, what did they actually say? Why did I feel that way? Like, so.
Yeah, I think I'd say that I'm like 68.75.
That's
6.
You want to explain that?
I don't know if I believe that either.
No, this is my reasoning. It's because I think like emotions kind of freak me out, and I think that some of it is nurture. But like, especially even like when anyone around me is like showing any type of emotional display, like it throws me off, and I start trying to logic through it internally. And I think a lot of it is the way I was raised, but I think I do lean towards emotions, like even like, but I think just the way I was raised in my environment and like what was pushed and like what I was taught growing up has really taught me to like instantly check my emotions into what makes sense, what's logical, what makes reason. And it doesn't mean that I stop feeling them or that like at the end of the day my emotions won't like went out, or that I don't value emotions over what's logical a lot of times at the end of the day. But like I think I still check them at the thinking door almost in a way. And so at the thinking door.
What thinking?
And
What's
so
that thing you doing?
I tend to be attracted a lot more to people who are also logical, because I think that's what I like being around, and the emotions kind of freak me out a bit. But like even I think, especially theater, I'm in theater, and my gosh, all the emotions, I'm kind of like, this is a lot. Like I got to the theater one day, and a girl comes falling in my arms, crying, giving me a hug, and I'm like, this is a lot. Or like girl comes in, I'm done, and I'm like, all right, go handle it. It's not the big, but things like that, I'm just like, I think through it. I'm like, if it's someone else's, if it's my own emotions, I normally like, especially if it's completely clouded, I can see that and then definitely get there. But I don't think I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm like super high on that space, and it might be nurture more so than nature, but I don't know. And perceiving versus judging. So it's kind of like how you like to organize or keep your world free and open. So this one's tricky because a lot of times people will lean towards like what they want to be versus who they are and what their natural inclinations are. Because people who are more judging and want to always be seen as like, oh, I'm very free thinking, I'm very open to things. They want to, but that's not necessarily their nature. Versus a lot of times perceivers always want to be, I'm more organized because it's a sensitive space for people. Because, I'm very organized, I'm timely.
I'm not messy.
Yeah, I'm not messy. Things like that. But, like, perceivers just are people who like their world to be free-flowing, that don't like necessarily strict bounds. They like to have freedom and space.
Yeah.
And so that there's a running thing that people say perceivers are messy, might have messy rooms or desks. That's not always true. Versus judgers tend to just like really like their world to be organized. They might be the ones always asking what time it is. They might be the ones that just like really want to have a schedule. Schedules help them to feel better.
Andrew.
Andrew's a great judger example. He shows up to time on early all the time. Or like Ashley makes me laugh because she's like, we were talking about going to a party, and she was like, I don't do well with unstructured parties. And I was like, what type of party is that?
We have one event, and then...
She wants an event party. Like,
if we're going to eat from 1 to 3.
Yeah, she wants that. She's like, I don't do well with unstructured.
My cookouts prepared me. If it starts at 3, we're not eating at least until 6.
Yeah. Part of me was like, that's why I think I liked Haitian culture so much, because it was a very like, yeah, what happens. I'm like, yeah, why worry? Why do we need to worry about time or structure? We'll get things done as they get done.
So good.
But what about you guys?
Yeah, I'm definitely a perceiver. Yeah.
You know how I can tell? Because these two girls, we can't set up no dates
None.
or times.
This is
We
Now,
tried
wait a minute.
we
Wait a
tried to
minute.
do this
We
video
have tried.
at 2 p.m. Tell
We
me why
tried.
one of them said it was 1:30, the other said it was 2:30, and I said it was 2 p.m. and we started at 2:45.
Well, what really
Well,
happened was
that's an
is that we
average
never
of all
actually set a time because I think I was supposed to get back and say, oh, okay, I'm going to be done with my Skype date to see you by then. But I think
We
I
said
just,
2 p.m. I put it on my calendar.
Oh, well.
oh, I didn't know.
I don't know why I heard 2:30.
This is living in a household of perceivers.
I feel like I definitely feel constricted with structure. Like,
Yeah.
especially with my schedule. Like,
Yeah.
I tried it. You know, my best friend, she's the J. She has
The
to
J.
have from here to here. You know, even in college, like, okay, I have free time between 2 and 4 because I have to study from 5 to 7. I'm like, girl, and she's like, oh, and she was
It overwhelms me.
she's trying to help me like do my schedule, right? And so I was like, okay, maybe here from here. 2 o'clock hit. I ain't even done with the first thing that I was supposed to do.
Right.
And then I think for me too, I think if I don't do what I say I'm gonna do, I get very discouraged.
Yeah, I'm like, that would stress me out.
Yeah, and I think like even goal setting, I'm not more of like
Yeah.
I'm not more of like I'm gonna get this done in 2 months. It's like I just want to get this done.
I'll get it done.
Yeah, but I'm like, but I have steps.
Never gets done.
Like I have steps. It's more my
I'm working
schedule
on it.
is more of a to-do list that is like times. It's like this is what I need to do, and if I don't get it done, I'm gonna just take it over into the.
And
next
it's a
step.
flexible to-do list. It
Yeah,
might change.
Exactly, and
No.
I don't get hurt if I don't meet the deadline or whatever. I mean, there's deadlines I have to meet, like because I'm in school and I have to turn in assignments at certain times. But I think as far as like my personal schedule, it's not really like from 1 to 3, unless I have something like I have a conversation with this person at 6:15. Like that's the only scheduled thing that I have because I know that's something I'm gonna do and commit to. But like to have like from morning to evening, like at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna do this. Most time I'm at work anyway, you know. But I think having a schedule like with times is constricting for me, and I get a lot of anxiety, and I get very discouraged if I don't meet what I say I'm gonna do. Like like my yes be yes and my no be no.
I don't even make a schedule.
Wait, what?
Like,
Well,
I
I think
don't-
your life is different too, because she's a nurse, and so she works 3 days out of the week, and so that allows you to have a lot
Yeah,
more
that's
flexibility
true.
too. Because you just know there's 3 days that you're going to be working for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Versus I'm a theater artist juggling a couple different jobs and work, and so if I don't have a schedule, I would literally be driven insane. But that said, I think that even when I was working like my 9 to 5, like what I liked about it was that I had flexibility. So there was times I could work, times I could, because I was traveling so much, I'd be sitting here in a hotel and be like, you know what, I'm gonna watch some TV, or I'm gonna go for a walk. I'll come back and finish my work, but I need flexibility within my work. Or even when I was working at the Career Center at my university, they kind of let me come in on my hours, and I could set my hours from week to week and come in and get my work done as I got it done, and then I will leave and I can kind of decide what I was doing when I was there. That type of work really works well with me. But stuff where people are like tracking you, like I had one woman with like one of my jobs, like breathing over my shoulder, looking at like what I was doing from, I was like,
Her breath was fresh.
She had a really raspy voice.
I'm talking
and
about her breath.
I don't know. It was a lot. What are you doing?
Look at that right there.
That's my kneecap.
So yeah, we're clearly not scheduled people, which makes it really complicated to plan anything as a household.
You know, I feel like people usually think nurses are like organized and timely too, or maybe most of them are. And like we have like something called a medication or a MAR. It's for the medications and it has like the times, and I'm like trying to make sure my medicines are scheduled for 2. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it at like 2:58. That way I can give like the 4 o'clock meds.
Terrible.
Or I feel like with times, I'm always giving like, let's do it at 2-ish. Let's
Yeah.
do it at like
And I don't like to-
around
I don't
3.
like to set end times. Like I
Yeah.
can never be like, okay, hang out from 1 to 3:30.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, we're gonna meet at 1, and then
we'll
go
hang out
until-
until we finish.
Yeah, or until I have to go do something else. But
Yeah.
like, I'm not about to end it.
Yeah.
But I think it's also the reason why I'm chronically late
Yeah.
to ever. I'm like, I try.
Bad sense of
I
humor.
like had to start deceiving myself, like set my clocks at wrong times, or like
You
Like, it's bad. Like, I gotta like, I gotta tell
I know
myself.
it's 5 minutes early. I'm not showing up.
I'm going back to sleep. Shoot.
I'll like tell myself it takes 10 minutes to get there. I'm like, okay, that means you need to tell yourself if you gotta be there by 4:30, tell yourself you gotta be there by 4. That way you'll be there on time.
Yeah.
But like, it's yeah.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, it's
you
hard
have
out
to like
here.
think about like traveling to your car.
There's a lot of
Getting in the car.
details.
Like
Get
those
out
all,
the bed.
yeah, and those all
Yes.
like you think 30 minutes is enough, but it's like no, there are things you do in between and I just don't think about them.
Yeah, like I forgot that I'm gonna have to grab my keys and put my food in the Tupperware and then, like all these things to think about. Oh, my hair's gonna take a second. I didn't twist it last night. Great. And I gotta take some time to do my hair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, angels of Abernathy. Guys, we're gonna call it a wrap. Thank you, Key. Thank you, Mel, for hopping in here with me and representing the ENFP lifestyle out here on these YouTube streets. So
Do you have streets?
I think so.
Sidewalks too, bro.
Yeah, you better get out here. So thank you guys for watching. This is going to be a multiple part series. It's a part of the ENFP Ask series, but this will be broken up into different parts. So if you want to see more, click up here and you'll be able to check out some videos. If you want to see some other stuff, there will be something here, and subscribe down here, and you'll be able to watch more of this face and possibly these faces because I live with them and I like them a lot. So subscribe and press like and comment because we can start a conversation. Yes. And I'll see you guys next time when we make another video. Bye. You gotta keep it now.
No.
Bye.